thanks for coming. We are going to ask you some questions for the autumn ASMR tag. Have you brought everything you need?
Yes, I have it here.
Great, let's start. I'll take notes on my computer if that's okay with you.
Yes, no problem.
Perfect, first question. What is your fondest memory of autumn? Whether from recently or childhood?
Probably my fondest memory of autumn is some celebration of my birthdays, since I'm proudly born in autumn. In general, getting old depresses me, but I've had birthday celebrations in which I've had a lot of fun and that have been very special to me. One of them was the first birthday I celebrated in college when I turned 21. To celebrate, we were inspired by the quintessential fall series Gilmore Girls, in the episode in which Rory turns 21. The plan Lorelai had thought of was to go with her to Atlantic City, play 21, buy 21 things, and get 21 guys' phone numbers or something like that. But they are not speaking, so they don't do that at the end, I think. Anyway, my friends threw me a party where, apart from writing and singing a song about me and how great I was, they served me 21 shots. Impossible to finish them all, of course. They made me a CD with 21 songs and more things related to the number 21. It was amazing. Another birthday that I remembered with great affection was a gymkhana that they prepared for me around the city, in which I had to follow clues and different tests to get my final gift. It was very fun because the tests were about one of the you could bottle and wear an autumnal scent as a perfume, what will it be? There are several scents that I associate with autumn. After spending all summer drinking cold drinks, in the fall we return to hot coffees and infusions. After a long time, I'm drinking coffee with milk again, to which I add cinnamon. The smell of coffee and cinnamon is one that I will encapsulate in a bottle and wear as a perfume. I also really like the petrichor smell of wet soil, and I've been able to enjoy it a little after the last rains. Although I will say that I like the smell of humidity in general, not just in the soil, but I wouldn't wear it as a perfume. So yes, I will stick with the smell of coffee and cinnamon. Okay, now name two of your favorite books to read during the autumn season and tell us why you love them, and show us copies if you have them on hand. To fully immerse myself in the autumn atmosphere, I have started reading Agatha Christie, the Queen of Cozy Mystery Murders, and Not So Cozy. So far, I have only read this book, Crooked House, which I really liked. The narrator of the story is a young man named Charles who falls in love with Sophia when they meet in Egypt. They are both English and intend to marry, but the war separates them for a few years. When it ends and they meet again in England, Sophia's very rich grandfather has been murdered, and they have to find the culprit, who is one of the members of her large family, who all live together in the same house. The second book is Wuthering Heights. It's one of the first classics that I read as a teenager, for my own pleasure and not because it was required for class. Although I was young and I haven't read it again, it's one of the books that has had the greatest impact on me. I think that if we relate it to autumn, it's because of the environment in which the story takes in the middle of the fog, in mountainous and rainy wastelands, and in a cold atmosphere, both physically and emotionally. The story revolves around the Earnshaw and Linton families, and mainly the figure of Heathcliff, a young gypsy adopted by the Earnshaw family, but also despised by everyone except his adoptive sister, Catherine. The two live an epic love, but it never materializes due to hatred, class differences, and desires for revenge. It's quite sad now that I think about it. What is your favorite fall drink? And show us your favorite mug to drink it in. Of course, I have it here. My favorite drink right now, as I mentioned, is the caffeinated coffee with almond milk and a touch of cinnamon. I also like drinking infusions such as chamomile, lime blossom, mint pennyroyal, ginger with lemon, thyme, hibiscus or fennel. Believe it or not, I have never tried pumpkin spice latte or any pumpkin drink. It's not the most typical thing in Spain. Although I'm quite sensitive to dairy, I would like to go to Starbucks one day and try the pumpkin spice latte, even once in my life. Until then, I will continue making my own drinks at home and drinking them in my favorite mugs like this one. Okay, in 3 words, describe how you feel on a rainy day in the fall. Ready to relax. Have you ever visited a corn maze, a pumpkin patch, or gone apple picking? If not, would you like to? No, I have not visited any of these 3 sites. Again, and unfortunately, it's not something that is done in Spain. But I would love to go to all of these 3 places. Here, for example, we celebrate Les Catalinetes on November 25, a festivity in which children go out to eat typical food outdoors, although this varies depending on the area. Another tradition is to go to the cemetery on November 1st to leave flowers for our loved ones who are not longer with us. In your opinion, what is the best flavor of autumn? I love fruit, and I am lucky that my favorite fruit ripens in fall. So, without any doubt, the best flavor of fall is figs. Other flavors that I enjoy in the season are chestnuts, pomegranate, persimmon. Also, of course, I love baked sweets like pumpkin pie, apple pie, and cinnamon rolls. What is your favorite autumn or Halloween themed song? And why? For Halloween, if I may, I'm not just going to mention a song, but an entire album. It's the self-titled and only album by the group Dead Man's Bones, the band of Oscar-nominated actor Ryan Gosling. It's without a doubt the perfect album for Halloween, and I listen to it every year around this time. It has all the spooky vibes with a special touch because a children's choir participates in all the songs. A delight for the ears. It's a shame that they didn't release more albums. For autumn in general, one of the albums that inspires me the most is Red by Taylor Swift, especially the song All Too Well. Autumn leaves Valentine like pieces in the place. Or artists like Hozier, Phoebe Bridgers, Lord Huron, with their song The Night We Met. They give me very autumnal vibes too. Great, and what is your favorite cozy, comforting TV show to watch? Well, like practically all the people on Instagram, I'm a big fan of Gilmore Girls, and I think it's the perfect series for fall. But in my case, it's not a series that I could watch every year around this time for several reasons. The first is that it's very long. It has 7 seasons. And the second is that I don't think it's as cozy as it may seem at first glance. In fact, Lorelai and Rory can often make me a little nervous, not to mention other characters like Emily or Paris. So, my alternative fall series that I highly recommend is Only Murders in the Building. It's a ghost mystery with three very nice protagonists. First, the always hilarious Martin Short, the best of the series. Then the adorable Steve Martin. And finally Selena Gomez, who has a more serious role, but it doesn't matter because you will be obsessed with the incredible outfits she wears in the cold New York. And although I haven't done it, I think rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer would be a great plan for the fall too.
And what is your favorite spooky or Halloween themed movie to watch?
I'm a fearful person, so spooky movies are not my favorite genre of cinema, but there are still some that I like. Of course, there are the essential ones from Tim Burton, like Edward Scissorhands, Beetlejuice, or Sweeney Todd. They are tremendously original and perfect for Halloween, but I don't watch them very often because I get a bittersweet feeling after watching them. I also like the original Ghostbusters movies and Pulp Fiction with entire female cast. I think it's an hilarious movie, and the Scary Movie Marathon is a perfect plan for autumn. The best mix of comedy and a little horror. But I'm one of those who prefers fall movies, and among them my favorite will always be When Harry Met Sally. It's perfect.
Call and describe how you will spend the perfect autumn day.
My perfect autumn day would be spent at home all day, ideally raining outside. I will wake up late and make myself a delicious breakfast with coffee and milk. I would add special touch like cream or caramel syrup to complete the breakfast. I will add some figs and a sweet, such as slice of apple pie or a cinnamon roll. Then I will read some cozy mystery book all morning. After lunch, I will take a nap while listening to the ASMR autumn tag from other wonderful ASMR artists. And I will spend the rest of the afternoon doing a marathon of a series or watching movies by Meg Ryan, the Queen of Autumn. All this while curled up with my cats under a blanket and with a cinnamon scented candlelit.
for you, what signals the start of the autumnal season?
The first sign that autumn has arrived is how quickly it gets dark. The temperatures are slowly dropping, and I know that autumn has arrived when I start wearing long sleeves on a regular basis, which I am looking forward to.
When is the last time you joined a pile of raked up leaves?
I think it's been a long time since the last time. I remember going with my friends to a marsh, and there were many trees whose leaves had fallen to the ground. We were practicing photography, and we took the opportunity to throw the leaves into the air and jump on them.
Have you ever tried carving a pumpkin before? If so, what did you carve into it?
No, I'm sorry. I've never carved a pumpkin before because, again, it's not something typical in Spain, at least in my area. What is more typical is sculpting watermelons in summer in a festival known as La Nit des Farolets, the night of the lanterns. The watermelon is empty and people sculpt the drawings they want on them. Then the lighting is put inside. It's hung from a string and it's walked through the streets of the town.
And show us your favorite item of clothing to wear in autumn and tell us why you love it.
You're seeing it right now. Is this sweater with autumn motifs. It's very soft and I bought it secondhand, so it was very cheap. It's a little warm to wear it right now, but I think it was the perfect sweater for this occasion.
And do you decorate for Halloween or autumn at all? If not, how would you like to decorate?
This is the first year I've started decorating the house for autumn. I have brought a video so you can see it. Roll the video. As you can see, I like soft, warm color blankets, sheets and I use leaf garlands and put lights in various rooms of the house. I also bring out my decoration with more witchy vibes, like the orange candles or the candelabra. I also like mugs and other household items with autumnal motifs and colors.
What do you do to celebrate Halloween in some way?
It's a tricky question because my birthday is November 1st. I mean, on Halloween night when the clock strikes 12 is my birthday, so I've celebrated it on many Halloween nights. I usually meet up with friends, and most of the time we dress up, drink, eat, sing, and dance. Last time I read them tarot cards to resolve some of their concerns, something I want to be a tradition to celebrate someone.
And what was your best Halloween costume from over the years? If you don't have a favorite or haven't dressed up before, skip to the next question.
I have dressed up as many things throughout my life on Halloween. I've been a witch, Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas, Regina from Once Upon a Time, Rachel Green, Florence Pugh in Midsommar, and Meg Griffin. They are some of which I remember right now. I think, ironically, my favorite is Meg Griffin because I have a strange connection with her. It's a very easy costume to make, but at the same time you immediately recognize that it's her. So it's my wildcard costume, since apart from Halloween I have dressed up as her on other occasions.
And what is your dream Halloween costume?
I have two types of dream costumes. One is for a group and the others are individual. For the group, it has always been dressing up with my four close friends as the Spice Girls. Furthermore, I think it will suit us very well because we have similar personalities to them. As for individual costume, I have several. One of them is the ex-wife zombie bride that Lindsay Lohan wears in Mean Girls. I would also like to go as Cher from Clueless sometime, and as Margot Tenenbaum from the Royal Tenenbaums, although I have already dressed up as her before. I would also love to dress up as Florence Pugh again in Midsommar, but with a flower-filled outfit she wears it would be very difficult to make.
Do you like to bake during fall? What autumnal baking do you like to eat?
I like to bake all year round, and in the fall, of course, too. I like to make sweets with dried fruits, walnuts, almonds, banana bread, or apple cakes. Although lately apples are not good for my stomach. This year I would like to try making cinnamon rolls and sweets with pumpkin.
What is your favorite Halloween candy or chocolate?
My favorite chocolate is milk chocolate with caramel or cookies. I like Kinder of any type and Twix too. Without doubt, my favorite brand of chocolate is Lindt. But I also eat a lot of Ferrero Rocher, although that is more typical at Christmas. As for candies, there is nothing I like more than the sour ones. I love everything from the Fini brand, also those that have a lot of sugar, such as those that are shaped like a finger or a tongue. The licorice flavor is also one of my favorites, as well as strawberry. I love sweets, but lately I don't eat many because I want to maintain a healthy diet. Around here, we also have Tijuana sunflower seeds, which are an exquisite delicacy that I only eat from time to time. Otherwise, I will become addicted to them.
Do you have any yearly traditions or rituals in the fall that you look forward to?
Well, apart from mine, there are a few other birthdays of dear people that I celebrate in the fall, so that's a cool tradition. October 3rd is Mean Girls Day, so I try to wear pink that day. It's funny how much I'm mentioning Mean Girls. I think it's definitely a fall. Then on October 9th is the festivity of my region, and I also try to celebrate it by going to different events such as fireworks and concerts. I think one of the things that makes autumn so special is that it's a time of rest before Christmas arrives and all the more than welcome craziness that it brings with it.
What is your favorite autumnal color?
My favorite fall color would be a dark orange or a bright brown. I do not like this. All of these colors.
And if you were to have a familiar like a witch, what animal would it be?
I'm sorry my answer is so basic, but I truly believe that cats and witches go hand in hand. So of course my familiar would be a cat. there is something magical about them, and I'm convinced that they can see things that we cannot. How many times have my cats stared at nothing, and no matter how much you tell them, they continue to look at that nothingness and ignore you.
And the last question. In the United States and Canada, Thanksgiving is celebrated in autumn. What are you thankful for?
This year, I'm grateful that my loved ones are healthy, that I have a nice roof over my head, and that I have the opportunity to reinvent myself and spend my free time doing the things I like.
Okay, well, that's all. Thank you very much. Just one thing before we finish. Please fill out this or that form. Here you go. Take your time.
This or that, pumpkin spice or apple cider. I think cider. Walk through the woods or walk through a cemetery. I really like both. I think walk through a cemetery. Candles or fairy lights. I think it's obvious. Fairy lights. Candy apples or candy corn? Yes, candy apples. Sweaters or flannels? Again, difficult choice, but I think sweaters. Picnic or bonfire? Picnic, it's so much easy to prepare. Scarves or cozy socks? Both really bad. Cozy socks, my feet get cold. Listen to the rain or crunch the leaves. Listen to the rain. Which or goes? Which, obviously. Movie night or read a book? I like both, but I'm more visual. So movie night. The smell of leaves or freshly baked pumpkin pie. Freshly baked pumpkin pie. Okay, that's all. Thank you so much, and thank you, Victory ASMR, for tagging me. Good night.